Good evening and welcome back to another edition from the Kaye Games channel. My name is Kaye. Thank you for joining us. Today we will be starting our US edition with the Hudson line. The Hudson line is an MTA railroad line that goes from Grand Central Terminal all the way up to Croton Harmon in New York. Now on the map, this route is colored as green. The Harlem line is colored as blue, and the New Haven line is colored as red. We will be exploring this route today, traveling from Croton Harmon to Grand Central Station. I am well aware of this route because it is a route that is very close to home for me, being that I'm from the Bronx, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did. Without further ado, let's get into it. Insert the key. Hold a unit. Put it into max. Forward. Instrument lights. Headlights. Doors are open. Set up the cameras. Rear camera. Side camera. I actually feel like I want a different camera. Yeah, let's go with that one. Alright, hopping back outside. The train will be taking off. So this is Croton Harmon, New York. departure. So as you can see, this one's a little more clear. These letters, it tells me how fast I can go before I start getting that warning. As we head up to Ossining. Miles. As the other train is trying to catch us. I'm actually gonna head outside. Driving along the Hudson River for a good majority of it, all the way until we reach our first Bronx station. Mile to Ossining. Coast. That express will be passing us in a second. Still see the headlight glare on it as I start braking. I want to try to hit the platform at 30 miles an hour. This is a 6-car train, M2 unit. This is Ossining. closing. We're up. Lady's gonna be there a while. Next stop, Scarborough. Scarborough. One thing I've always noticed, the trains always announce themselves before they hit the platforms. Usually like a mile out. Start braking. This is Scarborough. Doors are closing. Step in. Light. Departing. Pretty much, if you have any place to live along this river, it's a beautiful view. You know, it doesn't matter what town it is. You have views of the Hudson. Like I would love to have had somewhere, a nice place along this Hudson River. Stops Phillips Manor. Mile and a half to Phillips Manor. I have no fun facts about Phillips Manor. I don't think I've ever been to Phillips Manor. So the ATC was telling me I was going too fast. So I just turned it off. Too slow. Third of a mile to Phillips Manor. This is Phillips Manor. Sir, you just walked through a pole. Sir, you just did it again. These are older units, but I really like the way it looks. Next up is Tarrytown. Tarrytown. Sleepy Hollow area. Half a mile. Light braking. This is Tarrytown. This is Tarrytown. Doors are opening on the left. Please watch your step when leaving. And departing. And if you look to the right, you can see the Tappan Zee Bridge. Of course, real New Yorkers call it the Tap. Legally, the name has been changed, but we're not calling it that. I believe it's called the Cuomo Bridge now.
no true New Yorker will call that the Cuomo Bridge. They will always say the Tappan Zee Bridge. Actually, we'll open the window. There's a little stuffy in here.
Now, when I was a kid taking these trains, the drivers would leave this door open. And they would drive just like this. Just to get some air to flow in through there. But if you're a kid and they did this, you can't look out the window. There's a window right over here. You know, and being someone who loved trains as a kid, I wanted to look out that window. This view isn't bad, but you don't always want to just see this view. You know, sometimes you want to look out the window in the front of the train. You know. I'm gonna start braking. Half a mile to Irvington. This is Irvington. Doors will be opening on the right. Please watch the gap when leaving the train. Doors are opening on the right. Next stop will be Ardsley. Ardsley on the Hudson. cars in. Doors are opening on the right. Please mind the gap. Doors are closing. And departing. Dobbs Ferry is the next stop. Dobbs Ferry. Let's hop outside real quick. And this is Dobbs Ferry. Doors are opening on the right. Departing. Next stop is Hastings in 1 mile. train. This is Hastings. Doors will be opening on the right. Please mind the gap on the way out of the train. This is Hastings on the Hudson. Doors are closing. Sorry, sir, you missed your train. We're departing now. Next one will be in a half an hour. Enjoy your coffee. Next stop is Greystone. Every time I hear that name, I think of He-Man. Greystone. Coming in hot. Watch your step leaving the train.
Next stop's Glenwood. We are just outside of the Bronx city limits. Couple of stations. Should be Glenwood, Yonkers, and then Riverdale. Riverdale should be the first station inside the city limits of New York City. The Bronx. I like how old looking they have this train modeled. It's all beat up. It's got dirt marks, scratches. There's paint chipping off. Shows how old and rustic it is. Then you have the old rather than the power brake controller that they have now. Start braking here. Little whistle. Light braking. This is Glenwood. Glenwood. Braking. Doors will be opening on the right. Please watch your step exiting the train. Those are closing and departing. Next stop should be Yonkers. Yonkers, New York.
stop is Yonkers. Doors will be opening on the left. This is Yonkers. And departing. Next stop is Ludlow. I don't think I've ever met anyone from Ludlow. I think most people would say Riverdale or Yonkers, but no one's ever said I'm from Ludlow. I'm not saying the Ludlow area is a bad place. No one claims it. If you're from Ludlow, let me know. But I don't think I've ever heard anyone ever say they're from Ludlow. But this is Ludlow. Doors are opening on the right. To the end. Just to make sure I am on the platform. Doors are opening on the right. Next one will be here in a half an hour, sir. That's right, check the schedule. A lot of people on this platform. It's busier than Yonkers. Yonkers is a busier town.
no rhyme or reason with these sims. There could be like 100 people on a platform on a normally empty platform, and on the more traveled platforms, there's like one person. I just can't figure it out. Next stop is Riverdale. As we cross the borderlines of the city limits of the Bronx, my hometown. Start braking. This is Riverdale. Please watch your step leaving the train. Doors are opening on the right. Doors are closing. As we live dangerous on the tracks. Departing. Next stop should be Spuyten Duyvil. She should be braking here. Should be a birdie coming up. Give me some speed for now. Might be a 15. Should be crossing to the left. Amtrak service. That is a 30. The Amtrak service will veer to the right. We're gonna go left. So Amtrak, which runs along this as well, travels all the way up towards Albany Rensselaer, and It will run on this track and stay on this track and diverge to the right, which takes them into New York Penn Station. To the left will take us to Grand Central Terminal. To the right, Penn Station. It stays along the Hudson, past the George Washington Bridge, and then it hits the tunnels and travels to Penn Station, where it will meet up with the Northeast Corridor trains. As we get ourselves down to 30, we will be diverging to the left right here. Amtrak goes across that bridge into Manhattan. This is Manhattan over here. Amtrak goes that way. We go this way, staying in the Bronx. I've traveled on this bridge many times going home when I was living off the Concourse, Grand Concourse, which is one of the bigger streets in the Bronx. There's a couple big streets in the Bronx. Grand Concourse is one of them. And this is a short platform. First 4 cars only will be opening. First 4 cars. This is Spite and Dival. First 4 cars only. Doors opening on the right. Yeah, so I've been on this bridge many times. I believe it's called the Henry Hudson Bridge. It travels along the West Side Highway. You do have to pay to cross that bridge, but to beat all the excess traffic that you would incur taking the long way, I got home a little bit faster taking that bridge. So it's only like $1.75, but you know, every little penny adds up. What you spend on that bridge, you save in gas. So next stop is Marble Hill. Marble Hill is another short platform. I have some friends from over there too. I've also played against Kennedy High School, which is a school in the Riverdale section of the Bronx, based out in Marble Hill. So Marble Hill is under this scaffolding area. Now that we're back in my hometown, short platform coming up, Marble Hill. First 4 cars only. Doors are opening on the left.
This is Marble Hill. Marble Hill. Party. This is the 225th Street Bridge, 225th Street train station for the 1 and 9 train. Takes you into Manhattan. It runs down Broadway. As we headed to stay in the Bronx. Next stop should be University Heights. I feel like I'm going too fast, so I'm gonna slow down a little bit. Next stop is University Heights. But if you're from the Bronx, it's Fordham Road. Fordham Road. This is another short platform, if I'm not mistaken. The doors should be opening on the left. Just gonna drop down to 20. This is Fordham Road, University Heights. Doors opening on the left. Please mind the gap. Stand clear to close the doors. And departing. Next stop should be Morris Heights. Morris Heights.
will say, living in the Bronx most of my life and actually playing this DLC, it's pretty accurate. Like they accurately got most of the noticeable landmarks in this borough. So far, the only thing I would say that's not the way it should be would be the Tappan Zee Bridge, and that's only because they've redone that bridge. Back when we were in Tarrytown, that bridge was redone a number of years ago. It now has 2 spans, and that bridge is definitely the old bridge. But other than that, even this part right here with the city bus right there, it's spot on. Another short platform. I see an 8-car marker, but I doubt this fits 8 because we're hanging off. Doors are opening. I'm just gonna fly around for a little bit. Yeah, I've played in this park over here. There's a park that's over here, state park. It's not really depicted here, but they do have it down to a T with how this area looks. Departing. And I've lived in this area over there a little bit. Burnside Avenue. That would be the Tremont section of the Bronx, not too far over there. Next stop is Yankees Stadium. Yankees Stadium. As we approach the High Bridge area of the Bronx. This elevated bridge right here is where I-95 is, which takes you into first Manhattan. That's Manhattan across the river over there. And then once it gets into Manhattan, it takes you to the George Washington Bridge, which takes you into New Jersey. Just fun facts if you're not from this area. I-95, the Cross Bronx Expressway, the worst highway in New York. Always congested, and then when you get to the end of the congestion, there's no reason for it to be congested. It's just the name. The name alone makes people late. So if you've never heard of the Cross Bronx Expressway, just know it's the worst highway in New York. As we can get up to 60 miles an hour now, track speed. We will not be stopping at High Bridge. I have no reason why that was even a platform. I don't even think the train stops at High Bridge on this line anymore. It's been a while since I've been in this area on an actual train, so I could be wrong. But there's no reason for this. There's no reason. Look at this. That's like not even one car. That's like a half a car length. then when you get off, where you going? There's nothing around here. This is a depot. It's an MTA depot over here. And then you have Yankee Stadium over here, which is where we're stopping at. This is the McCombs Dam Bridge. This takes you into Harlem. You got Harlem to the right there. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Polo Grounds, but that's the Polo Grounds on the other side of that bridge. And this is Yankee Stadium to the left. This is 153rd Street. Originally, this was not a station. They built this station for the Yankees. Not too long ago, if I recall. I don't mean within 10 years, but I was probably still young when this station was built. Doors are opening on the right. Yeah, let's fly around a little bit. Let's see this grand stadium. And there it is. Originally, Yankee Stadium was right here. Okay, and Yankee Stadium used to be a park. I used to play in that park. It was called Malali's. So yeah, this used to be Yankee Stadium. They kept it there to preserve the park space that they took away from the city. So you still have your park space, and they still get a brand new stadium. Now, the only thing that's not depicted in this shot right here, the 4 train. The 4 train should be going along this way. I don't see a track or anything there, but it is what it is. Let's hop back in the cab. Next stop is Harlem 125. Harlem 125th Street, where we will join the Harlem line, which should be diverging to the left once we come into the clearance. This is the Croton-Harmon line that we are on. Harlem line goes that way. It's 35 entering this bridge into Harlem. As you see, our first Harlem line train going the other way. As I drop down to speed. Just gonna hop out. You see Harlem across the river. Just a hut. apologize. Don't fire me. As we cross over the FDR. Welcome to Harlem. Though the line was not named after this area, the original Harlem line started in the northern parts of New York, I believe in Putnam County. I believe it was called the Harlem Rail Line, a streetcar. And this is Harlem 125th Street. So far, everything is very accurately detailed. And I'm sure it would look better if it was, you know, of its time. Doors opening on the left. Stand clear of the gap. Just love how they depicted this MTA livery. It's very accurate. Do I have the light? I believe I do. Departing. Next stop is Grand Central Terminal. Grand Central Terminal. I believe our train is coming. Yep, there we go. The Harlem Line train. Get up to 60 here, and then it's 15, I believe, in the tunnel once we get closer to Grand Central Terminal. We're stopping at track 41. I believe track 41 is one of the loop tracks that allows you to go around Grand Central Terminal to the upper tracks, which is like up in the 60s, but we're not going that far. We should be terminating on track 41. This is Park Avenue that we're going down. Park Avenue. The famous Park Avenue. And I was supposed to slow down there. That's a New Haven Line train. That's to Connecticut. Let's get up to 60 here. less than 15. This is the sight I'm used to seeing when I'm on this train, in this tunnel. And that's pretty cool. You know, you got the lights going on the side like that. There's usually more lights than that, like they'll be on both sides. But, I mean, it's a video game. It's pretty accurate. Like, I won't complain. See the lights on both sides. This is a workshop DLC, and by all accounts, this thing is accurate and very well put together. It's definitely one of my favorite American DLCs. There's not many of them. I really feel like TSC, I would say Dovetail in general, do not do a good job with the American content. But this is very well put together. I do happen to know, like, there are like communities, like Train Sim community. The guys on there, they do really good jobs. They only focus on like American content. Most of them do like a lot of Northeast Corridor stuff. So I know it might be Repco, but there are a bunch of people in that community that focus on Jersey Transit a lot. So they've created a whole New Jersey Transit map, a whole network with all the route lines, which is pretty cool because, like, the line I live on now, I believe, is the Bergen line, and it's cool to have like your line in the actual game. Like, if you wanted to, you could stop there. I just wish that they would extend it past give me a second. Extend it past where it's capped off. If you're heading north, New Jersey Transit. New Jersey Transit also does some New York stations, but because there's no connection from New York, it's on a Jersey Transit line. Is this a train in front of me? Stop at this light. Yeah, we got really close to that train. Just gonna park it here. Let that light turn green. So there are stops that goes past New Jersey Transit that Jersey Transit trains are connecting passengers on. And I know because I take it to my mom's house, who lives a little bit north, in Middletown. So I have to get a connecting train, but there's no other way to get there if I'm taking a train. I could take a bus, but that can take even longer. It already takes like 2 hours. Actually 2.5 to get there by train, when it's an hour drive. 15 entering the platforms here. I really like this DLC. I want to thank John Galata for actually recommending that I do this. Like, I know it's a line that he wanted to see for nostalgia purposes. I don't know if he still lives on this line, but yeah, the Hudson line was a good line. It's a good pick for my American content. So appreciate you. Less than a mile to track 41. And we now have green, so diversion to the right. Those sounds are a little sketchy. I mean, how could you actually imitate that sound if you, one, don't work for the MTA, and two, don't have access to being in these tunnels, which are restricted to pedestrians? So I won't bash the creator for those sounds. Overall, it's still a good route. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would probably do it proper the next time and actually put the right color M2 train on it. But due to time constraints, I had to go with what I had. I really do like the weathering and texture of these cabs. Even the outside of the livery looks pretty good. Like, it's everything I remember as a kid living in the Bronx, taking these trains. Coming up on track 41. Welcome to Grand Central Terminal. Welcome to New York City. Excelsior. Where the state colors are blue and orange. Take that, Yankees fans. Lots of people on the tracks. I like to see that. This station is usually vibrant with people on it, though it's a little dark. Again, I won't knock them for that. Like Grand Central Station is a little more brighter. I'm actually going to turn these headlights off. I hate these flares. As we come up to the edge of the platform, and it looks like there is actually a train coming to platform 42, excuse me. Thought it was anyway. Oh, there is. I just can't see it. It's in the dark. This is Grand Central Station. Doors are opening on the right. Low lights. It's very weird. Put your lights on, bro. And that'll do it. That is Croton Harmon to Grand Central Terminal. That was actually quite enjoyable. Hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did. Thank you, John Galata, for actually recommending this to me. I appreciate it, and nostalgia purposes, I loved it. Everything was very accurate, aside for the Tappan Zee Bridge, which is a little outdated because it's been remodeled many years ago. It was quite enjoyable. Thank you for putting this on my radar for my US content edition. Very well put together route. Of course, I created it, a custom created scenario, but everything else was already there for me. I just had to lay the trains on the tracks and play. So thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's get into the next one and actually see what the Harlem line looks like. Here we go. We start off at Grand Central Station, track 27. I'm just going to put this in forward. Headlights. Instrument lights. And opening the doors. Now, for some reason, the headlights on this unit do not show on the outside views. I'll set up a camera anyway. And also the doors don't open at Grand Central, I've noticed. So we'll just set up a camera. Little interior view. I'm actually gonna switch to can't turn it around. Number 3 camera. Hop back in the cab. The first stop on this line is Harlem 125, Harlem 125th Street. I know this line very well. As I said, I grew up in this area, being from the Bronx. I would take this very exact line into the city. And I've grown up in multiple areas in the Bronx, so if I'm familiar with more than just a couple of places, it's because I know the places well. Just waiting for my departure time. In real life, this station is very busy. Trains coming in and out. I believe there is over 60 platforms. Well, not 60 platforms, but at least 60 places where this train can terminate here. I believe there's an actual loop behind us that goes around Grand Central Terminal, and you'll find another 20 to 30 more places for for trains to dock. But I believe only only 30 of the tracks are used with platforms. Recently, this station was actually extended, so now there's, I believe, an additional 8 platforms from which trains coming from Long Island can now terminate here. Brand new built, brand new built platforms. The Harlem line actually runs from Grand Central Terminal to Wasaic, New York, which is in Dutchess County. Known for being one of the first railroads in the United States, stretching 82 miles long. And the doors are closing. There's no guard's buzzer here. So I'm just gonna apply some power. And we're off. "15 miles an hour leaving the platform here. Pretty much all the platforms in the city, whether it's in Brooklyn, Grand Central, Penn Station,
I believe they all have a very slow platform entering and leaving speed. I believe the LIRR even comes in at 5 miles an hour, which is extra slow. "15 miles in the tunnels." I believe it ramps up to 60 once we get clear of all these extra trackage heading into Grand Central. That's just to make sure I'm not dead. If I don't respond to that, the train shuts itself down, thinking that there's something wrong. There's a New Haven line train to the left of us. That's another Metro North service. I didn't want to do the New Haven line because I felt like that would have been just too much Metro North. 2 is more than enough. As we diverge here, so the New Haven line, their color is blue on the map, whereas the Hudson line, I believe their color is green. Harlem line blue, New Haven red, and Hudson green on the MTA map. We're driving an M8 train today, which is the newer version of the Harlem line train. Later on, we'll be driving the M2 on the Hudson line, leaving Croton Harmon, coming to Grand Central Terminal. So it'll be a full reverse. They're pretty much the same region, Croton Harmon, and to where we're going, which is southeast, which is, I believe, a part of Brewster, which is in Putnam County. One is just east and one is west. And we can apply some power. Gonna gradually come up here.
we should be approaching the end of the tunnel. And welcome to Harlem.
Right now we're riding along Park Avenue. Park Avenue runs all the way into the Bronx. Another area I grew up in, the South Bronx.
So I know this stretch pretty well. As we approach Harlem 125th Street. Start braking.
Another thing I've noticed,
Especially on this inmate unit, at least for Train Sim Classic, the light blooming seems to be way too strong. So I'm actually going to turn it off once we enter this platform. Outside. I believe the train to our right has the right of way, so it will be leaving before us. Now, these stations well, at least this station, is usually pretty crowded. During Yankee days, Yankee games, you get a whole bunch of commuters from the LIRR or from Jersey Transit that commute into the city, and instead of hopping on the subway, the 4 train, or the D train, will usually take this service out to Yankee Stadium. Not this particular service. They would hop on the Hudson line, which also stops here and diverges. And diverges to the left once we get across the bridge in the Bronx. So, and the 4 train does not stop too far from here either. It's about a block away to our left right now. Door should be closing soon. There goes the doors. Next stop will be Mount Vernon, New York. We're at 35. Still got a green light. I'm actually gonna hop out the cab. As we cross over the FDR highway into the Bronx. Bypassing all Bronx stations. First stop will be Mount Vernon West. I'm actually very familiar with this area the most because I was born and raised in this specific area. Got Park Avenue to the right of us, and the lines to the left of us go towards Yankee Stadium on the Hudson line. this particular overpass is 138th Street. This overpass is 149th Street. And immediately to our right is my high school, just up there. This area, this building right here is my elementary school. And I grew up right here. This is the Melrose section of the Bronx, Melrose. It's just about quite accurately depicted here. Of course, it's an older route, but it's still pretty damn close. This first stop that we're gonna pass is Melrose, where this train is right now. As a New Haven Line train passes us to the left, approaching East Tremont. It's also a short platform station. Might be two car lengths long. I have no idea why they made them so short. But at least you got a station, right? A little more speed. And this is the Tremont section of the Bronx. Tremont Avenue. It's amazing that it looked busier than Grand Central Terminal. The smallest platform. All right, coming up on Fordham Road, just around the bend. Fordham Road. One of the best shopping districts in the Bronx. to 60 miles an hour. As we pass Fordham Road. The next station will be Botanical Gardens, the New York Botanical Gardens. This is the Botanical Gardens. Just going to slow down a little bit. Though it doesn't say it on the track speed, I know this thing's going to start freaking out in a minute. So right now it's on N, but it's going to come down here and start yelling at me. Approaching Gun Hill Road. It's another short platform. Of course, they don't call it Gun Hill Road. That's just the street that's above us. I'm afraid to change the view because I don't want this thing to yell at me. See, the N switched to an L, but I turned off the ATC, so it's not yelling at me. This isn't a bad speed. I'll keep it here for a little bit. We'll hop out the cab in a minute. Should be coming up on Woodlawn next. Woodlawn. I'll give it some more power. As we approach the outskirts of the Bronx. There's a New Haven Line train. I believe that's a 60 coming up. Can't really tell. It is. Next stop should be Wakefield. Wakefield. Technically the last stop in the Bronx on this line, as the route to the right goes to Connecticut on the New Haven line. Coming up on Wakefield. Wakefield. Last stop on the 2 train in New York City. It's the furthest you can go in the Bronx. This is Wakefield. Next stop is Mount Vernon West. This is Mount Vernon West. The doors will be opening on the right. Opening. You're going the wrong way, lady. doors should be closing soon. I'm gonna hop back out. Say clear the closing doors. And departing. Next stop is White Plains. White Plains. This train is semi-express. So we'll be skipping Fleetwood, Bronxville, a whole bunch of other stations. The next stop will be White Plains. I used to love the mall up there, Galleria. Went there a lot as a kid. Sadly, they tore it down recently. It's no longer there. Next station should be Bronxville. We're not stopping, but just good to let you know. What's up, St. Clinton? I had to get this in. I wish I actually rode the trains in Philly. Every time I've gone to Philly, I've either drove or I've taken Amtrak. Appreciate you joining the stream again. really do have fond memories of taking this line when I was younger. I actually used to love riding in the front car with the driver. They used to before this was actually one whole unit over here. This door used to close, and you can actually see out the window right there. But now all of this is just real estate for the driver. And you can't see out the front anymore. Just over 6 miles to White Plains. There should be a really cool bridge coming up. I actually want to jump outside for it. I just can't remember where it is. It should be coming up as we diverge into just 2 lanes. And we can get up to 65. I'm just gonna keep it at 60 so I can hop out. Should be coming up. Just trying to remember where it is. stages. Oh, there it is. I remember it differently. That didn't look so great. Just under 3 miles to White Plains, New York. Which I believe is in Westchester County. The New York Knicks Summer League is not too far from there. Westchester Knicks. It's amazing. Some of these platforms are longer than the ones in the Bronx, where there's more people. There's literally no one on it. Mile and a half to White Plains. Start coming down. And this is White Plains. Doors are opening on the left. Please watch your step. Exiting the train. actually not sure what side the doors are opening on. Next stop is North White Plains. On Train Some World, this is the last stop. But it's nowhere close to the end of the line in real life. But, you know, Dovetail's always gotta put a limit on their routes. For some reason, they just will not make a long route. Which is why we suffer with the Acela and the Pendolinos, because they can't run like you're caging a wild stallion. You have these fast trains and they can't go fast for too long. So this is North White Plains. Doors are opening on the left. How bright those lights are. And that's not even my train. That's the reason I turned mine off. Because they're too damn bright. Just goes to everything I say about the American content. All the trains on the American content for Train Sim Classic have that big light bloom, which is really weird. Doors are opening on the right. And the train is just creeping. This train is still not in the platform. No.
That train must get paid by the minute. It's like, I want every penny. I'm just gonna creep into this platform.
See how bright this is.
See how bright that is? That's not realistic. That's too bright. So I can close the doors. After we. He's got to be going to the yard because I have a green light.
Wow, it's really crawling.
Talk about a snail's pace.
How long am I sitting here?
I mean, I know it's 10 miles into the yard here, but that seems a lot slower than 10 miles. That seems slower than 5 miles. Since we're just sitting here, the one thing I've never noticed, these little clouds are actually moving. I've never noticed that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I expected the large clouds to move, but I never noticed that those little ones move. You know, and I put clouds on all of my scenarios, and that's something I've never noticed. I've never noticed that those little clouds move. It's actually pretty cool. Like you think about all that goes into this game, even though it's what, at least 10 years old. Doors are closing, stand by. All that goes into this game, and you don't even notice the little things that this game has. I like clouds. I think it just makes it look more realistic. Like if it's just a clear day and you're driving for more than an hour, are you gonna tell me you don't see any clouds at all? Not one cloud in the sky? So I just even if it's just a little bit of clouds, I usually put clouds into my scenarios, unless it's raining. Because if it's raining, the sky is going to be gray. So I guess in that case it won't matter. Or even snow, unless you want it cloudy and snowy at the same time. But it's just my personal preference. Next stop is Valhalla. As we traverse through the yard. There should be a whole bunch of level street crossings from here to southeast. I do it once in a while. Like, I did a scenario where I built it was in the UK. I went from Brighton to, is it Bedford? It might have been Bedford. And I used a couple of DLCs because there's not one actual long route that connects to the whole physical route of the Brighton off the Thames Link line. And on the second half of my scenario, I used the AP enhanced weather, and it had a variable in it where it starts off raining, and as you drive, you drive into heavy rain, and then it fades off into a bright sunny day. It was like a really cool touch, and I didn't even know I could do that until I actually seen it on one of their custom scenarios that was in a pack when you buy something. And it was actually an Alan Thompson pack. And then I went into the editor and I looked at what they had their weather at, and it was like rain variable. So you can actually mix it up. Like if you want some rain and then you want it to be nice, sunny, bright day, like that's an option. Like they have an option with fog. Like you're gonna have thick fog and then it clears up into a bright sunny day. It's actually pretty cool. So you don't just have one weather. Like if you want, you can switch it up. There's a lot of whistle boards. As we come up on Valhalla. I did see an interesting fact on this town, Valhalla. Like it's not named after the Norse Guard stories. So apparently some guy let his wife name it, and she wanted to name it after a post office or something like that. And there was already a whole bunch of stuff named out of this post office. It must have been some really important post office. So she just went with the name Valhalla. Me personally, I've never been, but to each his own. Hopping out. Do
There's an opening on the other side. Doors are closing. I don't really like night driving too much because you don't get to see the scenery. Like, everything is so dark. But, like, I want to see the scenery, so I have very few night videos. Unless it's actually by design. We can get up to 60 here. Next stop is Hawthorne. And if I'm gonna be honest, although I'm from New York, I've never been to some of these places north of the city. I honestly didn't even realize there was a town called Hawthorne in New York. I know there's one in Jersey, but and I'm not knocking the town at all. It's got to be a really quiet place because it never pops up in any conversation. Like, I've heard of Chappaqua. I've heard of Brewster. But Hawthorne, I've never heard of. I've heard of Valhalla. If you ever do another night run, try the Northeast Corridor, the New York to Trenton route. Try doing that at night. I don't think it's that bad. It's actually a nice little run with the dual cab, the double bi-mode train. I believe it's the ALP 46. That's actually pretty cool. That's a great place to put it. Thank you. I tried to do that earlier and my game crashed. I'm actually gonna do a Northeast Corridor proper, Philly to New York, because the one I did earlier was not mine, and it still crashed.
But to not have any SEPTA trains or even Jersey Transit trains coming from Philly to New York Penn, it's kind of like serious. Not one New Jersey Transit train, not one SEPTA train. Everything is all Amtrak, and then it had Acela trains going local. Like, who does that? Those are opening on the left. The Acela train is an express train. Why is it going local? I believe it's America's only tilting train at that. And you're gonna make it go local. You're too close to the track, lady. I wish they could update these sims. Excuse me. Unfortunately, I can't turn this cab the right way. This view is in the exact last cab. Makes no sense. Probably could have swapped it out for one in the middle, but it is what it is. All right, next stop is Pleasantville. Pleasantville. Drop down to 40.
This is Pleasantville. Watch your step exiting. Doors are opening on the left. Departing. I think I actually remember that. Cool thing about growing up in New York is Philly's only 2 hours away. So I made trips there often. I'm sure. I actually know how that feels. Next stop is Chappaqua. When I moved out of New York, they changed some of the lines on where they go. Like when I was a kid, the D train and the C train used to travel to Norwood in the Bronx. Now that line is the line that actually stops at Yankee Stadium. And then recently, probably 10 years ago, they changed that again, and it wound up being the D and the B stops at Yankee Stadium, which is confusing. You know, growing up all those years, thinking, okay, I need to hop on, this train, and then for some reason, now I have to remember I need to take this train. It made sense in a way because color wise, the D train and the B train are orange. So they put the two orange colored lines on the same line. The D train was just the express and the B train was the local. And it also made sense the opposite way because the A train was the express and the C train was the local. And color-wise, they were blue. So I get why they did that, but if you're used to something for however many years, and it clearly it was easy 20 years for me, and then that happens, and it's like, am I going the right way? It's like I lived here all my life, and I don't even know if I'm going the right way anymore. It's kind of how I felt at first. I'm a little light. I'm just gonna. It's better. I'm still hanging off, but I don't care.
And now they're actually adding a light rail in New York, which is going to travel through Brooklyn and Queens only. And they say it's going to make commuting faster. Instead of having to go into Manhattan, you can just travel from Brooklyn to Queens. Yeah, I've actually been complaining about that all day. We're just walking through poles, running into my shots. It's like I thought AI was supposed to be smart. There's no rhyme or reason. This must be the dumb AI. Mount Kisco next. Mount Kisco. Junction of 45.
I've actually never been up this far in this line in real life. This is Mount Kisco. Doors are opening on the left. And departing. Next stop is Bedford Hills. This is Bedford Hills. Name sounds rich, but I doubt it. overshot it. How you doing, sir? Ma'am? Next stop is Katona. Katona. That's pretty interesting. I've actually lost all sense of time. I've been sitting in this chair all day. Can you just imagine how long this ride would be if we actually stopped at every stop? Like, we skipped a good portion of stops. None of the stops in the Bronx at all. It was Manhattan straight to Mount Vernon. And then from Mount Vernon to White Plains, and there's a good at least 5 stops in between that. So just imagine how long this ride would be. And we're already an hour and 45 minutes in on this run. This is Katona. Doors opening on the left. it's on the platform. But you know what? Those are the best. When you actually make a long video like that, and before you know it, it's 4 hours in. You know, but you're having fun, so you don't really care. I have a video like that. Next stop is Golden's Bridge. Golden's Bridge, which I believe is in the town of Brewster. So Brewster should be coming up shortly. Glad I turned the ATC off. Would have been annoying hitting that alerter. This is Golden's Bridge. If you name it Golden's Bridge, there should be a bridge around here. So opening on the left. Excuse me.
Next stop is Purdy's.
Now we're just making up town names.
A mile from Purdy's. Track 1, Purdy's.
Doors will be opening on the left. This is another short platform, so I will be sticking out. Not my problem. Maybe not. Looks like it's just long enough. It's definitely not Wakefield. It's a bad sign. 1 mile to Croton Falls. This is Croton Falls. This is definitely a short platform. Bus is crazy. Next stop is Brewster. Just under 3 miles to Brewster. Drop it down to 50. I really wish I knew what these letters stood for.
I know it's different variations in the speed. Like, I'm assuming this means I can give it the full beans, like I can go as fast as I want to. And I'm pretty sure the R is restricted. So like the max speed I can do would be like 15 miles an hour. But I'm not sure what these two are, L and the M. See, like I just changed to R, which means restricted, I'm assuming. And if I had the ATC on, I'm pretty sure this thing would be trying to go crazy with the alerter.
Like, I know it's something I could look up, but it's just on my mind right now. I just love how the light bloom off of the train with no headlights are ridiculous with a pole on my track. It's the first flaw I've seen other than the headlights on this route.
This is Brewster. Doors are opening on the left. First 3 cars for exit only. Watch your step. And this lady has her butt in my face. Departing. I'm actually not going to watch the whole train leave because I believe there's a light up here that might catch me, so I'm just going to prepare for that.
Just in case this light is red as we come into southeast. And it's red. I've been tripped up at that light before. Park it here.
So I believe there is a train on the platform ahead of us,
which is why I'm getting the red.
and until that train leaves,
Obviously, I can't go because I have to cross tracks to get to the platform that I need.
there's an unusual amount of buses on this overpass that just keeps going over.
And the train's coming. Train is clear to junction. Light should be turning soon. And there we go. Applying power. Still at restricted. Not restricted anymore.
This is southeast, southeast. This is the last stop on this line. Please make sure you have all your belongings with you upon exiting. Doors will be opening on the left.
Coming up on 20. Diverging to the left. Southeast. Southeast. Doors opening on the right. This is the last stop. Hope you guys enjoyed your ride. Thank you for riding MTA Transit. Doors opening on the right. Of course, it's not on the platform. And that will do it for the Harlem line, Grand Central to Southeast. Okay, so that was the Harlem line. Nostalgia purposes, I loved it. Everything was very accurate, fun to play. Just looking at all the stuff that I've grown up watching and looking at, riding on these trains into the city. It's amazing. It was a good ride. It was a good run. It's a good route. I love the M8 train. It's their newer version. Although there were some things that I would like to have seen rectified, like the headlight blooms being too bright. And then when you jump outside the train, you don't see the headlights on, but you see the illuminescence of the lights. That was a big issue for me. Other than that, this was actually a very, very good run. I quite enjoyed it. The same way I enjoyed doing the Hudson line. That was quite good as well. Would I do it again? Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, I have no issues with it. It's always good to come home, you know? So with that being said, I hope you guys actually enjoyed this run with me. St. Clinton, always a pleasure. Always good to hear from you and chat with you as well. For anybody else who would like to join in the stream or have joined in the stream late, I want to thank you for coming as well, and hope I can see you on the next stream. Until then, see you guys next week. Have a good one. Thank you, St. Clinton.